A storm of federal lawsuits finally forced one of the world's largest appliance manufacturers into the spotlight. Thousands of customers were all saying the same thing. Their expensive refrigerators were dying shockingly early. Compressors failing. Ice makers freezing solid. Control boards burning out. Machines barely surviving long enough to finish their financing plans. And buried beneath the lawsuits was a question nobody in the appliance industry wants consumers asking. Why is a refrigerator built in 1953 still running in an Ohio garage today, while a $3,000 smart refrigerator bought this year may not survive the decade? Because that should not happen. Not after 70 years of technological progress. Not after billions spent on innovation. And yet everywhere across America, old refrigerators from the 1950s, 60s, and 70s are still humming quietly in basements, garages, barns, and workshops, while brand new touchscreen models are hauled to the curb after only a few years. That is not progress. That is regression disguised as luxury. And in this investigation, we are going to expose exactly how it happened. We are going to show you the 7 refrigerators that refuse to die. We are going to reveal the engineering decisions that made them nearly immortal. And we are going to uncover how the appliance industry slowly abandoned durability in favor of something far more profitable: replacement. Walk into any appliance showroom today. You will see walls glowing with stainless steel French door refrigerators, touchscreens, Wi-Fi connectivity, voice assistants, cameras inside the doors, giant displays promising smart living. It feels like competition. Dozens of brands, dozens of models, dozens of price tags. But behind the glass and marketing, much of the industry has quietly collapsed into the same fragile ecosystem. Different logos, different handles, different advertisements, but often the same compressors, the same circuit boards, the same plastic water systems, the same weak points. The real divide in refrigeration is no longer brand versus brand. It is old-world engineering versus the disposable appliance era. And two massive forces helped destroy the refrigerator Americans once trusted. First came efficiency regulations that pushed manufacturers towards smaller, hotter-running, more complex compressor systems. Then came the accountants. Metal became plastic. Mechanical controls became circuit boards. Reparable systems became sealed assemblies. Affordable service became total replacement. An engineer once designed refrigerators to survive decades. Now many are designed around manufacturing cost, shipping efficiency, and planned product cycles. And nowhere is that transformation more obvious than in the survivors still running today. The old Amana top freezer refrigerator is almost offensively simple. No touchscreen, no Wi-Fi, no giant dispenser in the door, no fragile electronics. Just a white steel box with a compressor designed to run quietly for decades. And somehow, that simplicity became its superpower. Thousands of these machines ran 20 years or more with almost no maintenance beyond occasional cleaning. Why? Because the design avoided nearly every major failure point modern refrigerators suffer from today. The freezer sat on top. Gravity helped airflow naturally circulate. The compressor system stayed simple. And most importantly, there was no complicated ice maker jammed into the refrigerator door. Modern French door refrigerators often route water lines through moving hinges and warm sections of the cabinet. Ice makers freeze up, leak, crack, and destroy themselves constantly. The old Amana avoided all of it by refusing to be complicated. And that decision gave it a lifespan many modern luxury refrigerators cannot touch. Nobody admired the old Hotpoint refrigerators. They were plain, cheap-looking, almost invisible, which is exactly why they survived. These machines were built around oversized cooling systems and brutally simple mechanical controls. No delicate motherboard. No software updates. No sensors constantly failing. A thermostat clicked on. The compressor ran. The refrigerator got cold. That was it. And because the cooling systems were often overbuilt instead of optimized to the edge of failure, they operated under less stress year after year. Modern refrigerators often run closer to engineering limits in pursuit of efficiency targets and manufacturing savings. The old Hotpoint did the opposite. It was not smart. It was durable. And durability used to matter more than features. There was a time when Frigidaire was so trusted that Americans used the word the same way people say Kleenex today. It meant refrigerator itself. The old Frigidaire machines from the mid-century era were tanks. Heavy steel cabinets. Massive internal components. Reparable sealed systems. Mechanical simplicity. They were built during an era when manufacturers competed on reliability because reputation lasted generations. But then something changed. Corporate acquisitions. Cost-cutting. Outsourcing. Shareholder pressure. Over time, many legendary appliance brands became little more than logos attached to cheaper products. And nowhere is that decline more painful than comparing a vintage Frigidaire to many modern descendants carrying the same badge. One feels industrial. The other feels disposable. The name survived. The philosophy did not. Older Whirlpool refrigerators represented something almost extinct today. Repairability. A homeowner with basic tools could remove the rear panel, replace a relay, swap a defrost timer, and keep the machine alive for years. Parts were cheap. Diagrams were understandable. Systems were modular. A refrigerator was treated like a machine meant to be serviced, not discarded. That mattered enormously, because every machine eventually fails somewhere. The difference is whether failure becomes repair or replacement. Modern refrigerators increasingly rely on sealed systems and integrated electronics that make small failures catastrophically expensive. A single bad board can turn a repair into a $1,000 estimate. The old Whirlpool philosophy was the opposite. Keep it accessible. Keep it mechanical. Keep it fixable. And millions of them survive because of it. The old Kenmore refrigerators may be the most common long-term survivors in America. Harvest Gold. Avocado Green. Still running in garages half a century later. But here is the twist most people never realized. Sears usually did not manufacture them. Instead, Sears demanded refrigerators from top manufacturers built to strict reliability standards under the Kenmore badge. That gave consumers something rare. A mass-market appliance line with unusually high-quality control. Sears became a gatekeeper. If a manufacturer wanted shelf space, the machines had to survive. And when Sears collapsed, that pressure disappeared with it. Today, consumers often shop based on features and aesthetics. But Sears once sold trust. And when that institution died, an entire standard of appliance durability quietly disappeared with it. The General Electric refrigerators of the 1950s and 60s are among the greatest household machines ever built. Some are still operating after 60 or even 70 years. Think about that. Entire companies have risen and collapsed in the time these refrigerators have stayed cold. Their secret was not magic. It was engineering philosophy, heavy steel construction, massive tolerances, oil bath rotary compressors constantly lubricated during operation. These compressors were designed to survive continuous use for decades. And then comes the painful irony. Modern GE refrigerators are now frequently cited in complaints involving failed electronic control boards, some mounted near heat-producing sections of the appliance itself. The old GE models treated refrigeration as a mechanical challenge. Modern systems increasingly depend on electronics living in hot, vibrating environments for years. And electronics hate heat. The old compressors kept spinning. The new boards burn out. And then there is the king of them all, Kelvinator, one of the pioneers of household refrigeration itself. Some Kelvinator units from the 1920s are still operational today. 100 years. A century. That should completely change how you think about modern appliances. Because it proves something uncomfortable. Manufacturers already knew how to build refrigerators that could last multiple generations. The capability existed. What changed was not engineering knowledge. What changed was economic incentive. The early refrigeration industry was competing to prove reliability. Modern appliance corporations compete inside replacement cycles. And when an original Kelvinator finally dies, there is no modern equivalent waiting to replace it. That era is gone, which is exactly why these machines matter. They are not just appliances anymore. They are evidence. If the golden age is over, is there anything left worth buying? Surprisingly, yes. But you have to leave the mainstream showroom floor. One path is ultra-premium refrigeration systems, like Sub-Zero. Unlike many consumer brands, Sub-Zero still builds around serviceability and long-term operation, using dual compressors, heavier insulation, and modular repair systems designed to survive decades. They are expensive, but they are expensive in the way old appliances used to be, because they are engineered to last. The second option is even more revealing. Some homeowners are now installing actual commercial refrigeration units into residential spaces. Restaurant-grade coolers from companies like Turbo Air or Beverage Air are designed for brutal daily use. Steel bodies, simple systems, accessible components, reparable parts, no giant touchscreen, no gimmicks, just refrigeration, exactly like the industry used to build. The death of the long-lasting refrigerator was not an accident. It was a business evolution. An appliance that lasts 50 years is wonderful for consumers. It is terrible for repeat sales. A machine that survives generations creates loyalty. A machine that fails every few years creates recurring revenue. And slowly, over decades, the balance shifted toward thinner materials, toward fragile electronics, toward sealed systems, toward replacement instead of repair. The 7 refrigerators in this investigation survive because they were built before that philosophy fully took over. They came from an era when manufacturers feared being known for failure. Today, many consumers expect failure as normal. That may be the biggest change of all. So if you still have one of these old machines humming quietly in your garage or basement, take care of it. Because you are not looking at outdated technology. You are looking at a disappearing standard of engineering. And every time one gets hauled to the scrapyard, a piece of that world disappears with it. If this investigation changed how you see the appliances around you, subscribe. Because next time, we investigate another industry where durability quietly died behind marketing promises. The recreational vehicle industry, where the rot is literally hidden inside the walls.